right, you guys, hopefully everyone had a chance to do 3.2C worksheet. So let's write the equation of the least squares regression line and identify the variables. So you have to be able to identify the y-intercept and the slope. It always goes in the order A, B, where A is your y-intercept and B is your slope. So it should look like this because our output is algae and our x is temperature, right? We are determining the effect of temperature on the pond's algae level. So your predicted algae, be sure you have the hat, equals 42.8477 plus 0.4762 times the temperature. All right, interpret the slope. So here is the slope. It always starts for every 1 increase in x. So for this one, for every 1 degrees increase in our temperature, our model predicts an average increase of 0.4762 parts per million of algae. So we do have units on this, just so you know, for algae. Now it says correlation coefficient. Now be really careful. The coefficient of determination is r squared. The correlation coefficient is just r. I know we just learned r squared, but this is actually r. So they gave us r squared and this r squared adjacent. We never use this, like don't use that, all right? They did not give us r. So what we need to do is make this a decimal and square root it, because this is r squared, to get r. So then we have to determine, by the way, if r is positive or negative based on the slope. Since the slope's positive, r is positive. So then I would say there is a strong positive linear relationship between temperature in degrees Fahrenheit and algae level in parts per million. All right, and number 4, identify and interpret the standard deviation of the residuals. So S, okay, here is S. And really, you just need to be able to interpret S, okay? So my sentence for S, go ahead and list what it is, 0.4224. If we use this model to predict algae level from temperature, our predictions will typically be off by about 0.4224 parts per million. Please remember that this is always going to be in the Y units, whatever the Y units are. So it's always how far our points are off from the line in the Y direction. All right. If you guys need to go back and pause the video to write any of these down, feel free. Go ahead and pass it over and you guys can start on the homework.